I worked with a woman who was married. She was a working mom. She was vice president of a bank. She had 2 children and a husband. And she had her work life worked for her. You know, when she was at the bank, everything worked like clockwork. She had staff. She delegated well. Everything was fantastic. But her time at home was completely out of control. She felt like she was drowning in chores and errands. She had absolutely no quality time with her kids, and she had no quality time with her husband. She called me in for help. I said, okay, let's look into the closet of your week. And I said, tell me how it flows. Tell me what happens. So this is what, she woke up at 4:30 in the morning every day. We only ask questions. We do not judge. It wasn't me getting up at 4:30 in the morning. And she spent 2 hours by herself, drinking coffee, reading the paper, and she was a marathon runner. This was a woman who took time for herself. She'd go for a run, she'd take a shower, she'd get dressed, and then she would wake up her kids. And for the next hour, she would dress her kids, run downstairs, cook breakfast, serve breakfast, clean up breakfast, grab the backpacks, grab the kids. They'd race out the door. She'd drop them off at school. Workday went just fine. She'd pick them up, come home, walk through the door at 6 o'clock. She immediately began cooking. She'd wash the floor. She'd pick up the clutter from the morning that hadn't been taken care of, serve dinner. While the kids did their homework, she would clean up. And at the end of the day, she would do laundry or iron her clothes for the next day and go to sleep and collapse. Now, what's wrong with this picture? You know what the first question I asked her was? Why do you wash the floor every night? And she looked at me so stunned and said, well, that's what my mother always did. And I went, oh, did your mom work? And with that same look of surprise, she went, no. This was the vice president of a bank who, without realizing it, was also playing the role of a 1950s full-time stay-at-home mom. The other question that becomes very obvious when you look at this is like, where is her husband? And you know what? He wanted to help. He tried to help. She didn't like the way he put things away. He always put the glasses in the wrong cabinet and the silverware went in the wrong place, right? And you know, he never picked out the right clothes for the kids. But she was still playing this role, the role of the mom who takes care of everybody, right? She was so set up to have to do it all herself that all of the kids' snacks were on a high shelf that they had to go to her and ask her for something and she'd have to get it. Totally not conscious. So first thing we did was, I told her, you don't have to wash the floor every night. And then we reorganized the closet of her week. Now, if you look, we're looking at the balance, the categories. Pink is family time, okay? The yellow was self-time, work was blue, and marriage time was purple. Because what was she missing? Family time and marriage time, right? So we reorganized. First of all, I took a half an hour away from her in the morning. Because the only reason she was taking those 2 hours is she was dreading waking those kids up, because once she did, the weight of getting them ready was all on her own shoulders. So we gave her an hour and a half for her marathon run, coffee and newspaper. She woke up the kids got themselves dressed, her husband made breakfast, she was showering, they all sat down and ate, and had an hour and a half, which was really what it took to get out the door. She went to work, it went fine. When she came home, they cooked as a family. The kids helped wash the salad ingredients. They ate, and then while the kids did homework, her husband and her did the dishes. They got the kids in bed by 9 o'clock, and for an hour every night, we staked a claim on marriage time. And even if all they did was sit side by side reading the newspaper, not even talking, they both knew they had that time together every day and could start to really rebuild that connection. And we also reinstituted date night, right? Because you forget when you're married, you know, you get all involved in all the chores, but if you don't nurture these relationships, they start to crumble, right? You get a little detached. So we had marriage time, and even on the weekends and family time, we organized it so there was a balance between the mornings on Saturday were errands and chores finished, the afternoon was family fun time, they always had it. It motivated them to get the house clean so they could go out and go rollerblading or go to a movie. And Sundays were also outings time, and the kids could each rotate who's picking what we're doing this Sunday, routines that people can count on. And Sunday nights became designated as